ABC Kinderteach presents Me, Jane, written by Patrick McConnell. Jane had a stuffed toy chimpanzee named Jubilee. This is a girl named Jane Goodall. She loved it very much, Jubilee, and took him everywhere she went. And Jane loved to be outside. She watched birds making their nests, spiders spinning their webs, and squirrels chasing one another up and down trees. She really liked being outside. Jane learned all that she could about the animals and plants she studied in her backyard and read about in books. So she watched all the plants and animals in her backyard, but she also read books about them as well. The Alligator Society, the alligator, pterodactyl, eagle, wild bird puzzle, Cobra's page, Cobra's alligator knowledge. So she would write down all the things she saw, and she would draw pictures of them as well so that she could remember what she saw. One day, curious Jane wondered where eggs came from. So she and Jubilee snuck into Grandma Nut's chicken coop, where the chickens lay eggs, hid behind some straw, stayed very still. Oh, look it, a hen is coming in. Maybe the hen will lay an egg. And observed the miracle. So the hen did lay an egg in the chicken coop. It was a magical world full of joy and wonder, and Jane felt very much a part of it. So she loved being outside, and look at, there's some chicks. Jane often climbed her favorite tree, which she named Beech. She would lay her cheek against its trunk and seem to feel the sap flowing beneath the bark. Jane could feel her own heart beating, beating, beating. With the wind in her hair, she read and reread the books about Tarzan of the Apes, in which another girl, also named Jane, lived in the jungles of Africa. Because one day she's actually going to move there and study different types of animals. Jane dreamed of a life in Africa too. So she's dreaming about being here with elephants and giraffes and other animals. A life living with and helping all animals. And she's swinging like Tarzan swung in the story about Tarzan. At night, Jane would tuck Jubilee into bed, say her prayers, and fall asleep. To awake one day, and now she's grown up and she's living in Africa, to her dream come true. And that really is Jane Goodall, and she spent a lot of time with different types of chimpanzees and other sorts of animals. About Jane Goodall. When Jane Goodall was 10 years old, she decided that when she grew up, she would go to Africa, live with the animals, and write about them. Almost everyone told her this goal was impossible. Her family had little money, and she was a girl in a time when girls were not encouraged to pursue adventurous careers. But her mother encouraged her to follow her dream, When Jane finished school, she continued to learn about Africa and worked hard to save enough money to go there. She finally arrived in 1957, met famed anthropologist Louis Leakey, and began studying chimpanzees at the Gombe Stream Game Reserve, now known as Gombe Stream National Park, in Tanzania in 1960. One of Jane's most important observations was her discovery that chimpanzees are able to make and use tools. Until this time, experts thought only humans were able to do so. But based on Jane's remarkable studies, the world was forced to rethink what makes humans different from animals. She wrote about these discoveries and countless other observations in her 1986 book, The Chimpanzees of Gombe, Patterns of Behavior. Today, Jane travels around the world raising awareness about the plight of chimpanzees and environmental conservation. Human populations are growing. The forests in Africa where chimpanzees live are being cut down, and chimps and other animals are being hunted for food. She set up the Jane Goodall Institute, an organization that helps communities near wild places grow more food, have clean water, and send children to school, while also teaching people how to protect the nearby wildlife. Jane Goodall's Roots and Shoots program has been set up to educate young people everywhere about the world's environmental and social problems and empower them to take action. This growing organization operates in more than 120 countries, and there are tens of thousands of members ranging in age from preschoolers to university students. A message from Jane. Each one of us makes a difference. We cannot live through a single day without making an impact on the world around us, and we have a choice as to what sort of difference we make. The life of each one of us matters in the scheme of things, and I encourage everyone, especially young people, to make the world a better place for people, animals, and the environment. Children are motivated when they can see the positive results their hard work can have. As I travel, I meet hundreds of Roots and Shoots groups. They are always eager to tell Dr. Jane what they've been doing and how they are making a difference in their communities. Whether they've done something simple like recycling or collecting trash, or something that requires a great deal of effort, like restoring a wetland or raising money for street children or a local dog shelter. They are a continual source of inspiration for me and for other children around the world. I invite you to get involved.